On the edge, drug dealing seems like the road to Easy Street, a way to make money, to be somebody. But some of their peers see it differently. And in the final part of his special report on crack and gangs, News Center 4's Austin Longstadt talks to young dealers who turn their lives around.
These youngsters are hearing firsthand that there's a hidden cost to the money and power which drug dealers and gang members flash around on the streets. Members of San Francisco's Omega Boys Club, which include teenaged former dealers, are explaining that you can't sell drugs on the street without losing part of your humanity. Are there parts of yourself that you have to turn off to make it?
Emotion, conscience, your heart. You just have to forget about what you see. You have to keep going.
Do you remember when you were coming up, at some point turning those emotions off? Were you conscious of that?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I used to go in the house and say, how could I do that? But at that time, I just accepted it as the way it was.
They told themselves terrible lies.
The mothers who I used to sell to, I used to give their kids money. You know, in my own way, I felt that was kind of making up for, you know, in the term, killing their mothers, because that's what I was doing. I was destroying families.
They now say all the money they were making, and it was a lot, wasn't worth the personal cost.
It's the way they looked at you, like with an attitude like, oh, my little girl can't talk to you. Or, you know, my kids, like, you know, when you're a drug dealer, a lot of kids run up to you and they admire you and stuff like that. And, you know, they be out there snatching their kids, whooping their kids, saying, don't go near him or anything like that.
When you're on the streets, the main thing you're thinking about is yourself. You don't know when the police are going to come up behind you. You don't know when someone's going to try to kill you. And you don't know when someone that you're selling dope to is going to try to get you.
In part, they say, high unemployment and the lack of resources in their communities limited their choices.
See, now, if I had a job, I mean, not no minimum wage, not no McDonald's slinging hamburger type of jobs, you know, a job to where I can get something out of it in the future, I'd probably turn it the other way. But basically there wasn't, so I felt the only way I can make my money is on the street corner.
The majority society gives them.
Some experts agree. Sociologist Julianne Malveaux.
I contend that they get antisocial messages, that they get messages that their communities are not valued, that their parents are not valued, that their efforts are not valued, that their futures are devalued. We can't write people off and then expect them to behave like, quote, responsible citizens.
The experience of teenaged former dealers leads them to dispute the police claim that crack sales in San Francisco are controlled by gangs.
Anybody can sell drugs. You can be by yourself and sell drugs. The only thing it is I might have a disagreement with you, and we end up fighting. You might beat me up or I might beat you up. I just don't like the way it happens, so I go get my buddies and we get you. And your buddies come back and get us.
They accepted the fighting as just the way things were. What finally jolted them away from selling crack were the deaths.
When the bullets are dodging past your head, or your best friend just dies or gets shot right next to you, there's no way in the world you can't think about it, not unless you're insane.
I was talking to, you know, another drug dealer, and I was just thinking, I say, when you get 40, what do you plan to do? He said, I don't plan to live till I'm 40. And then drugs just went down on my list, and education just went up. And then I thought to myself, our elders fought in the 60s to rid us of all this, all the violence. They even got sprayed with water, and they drive around the corner and see us out on a corner selling drugs and make them feel like their work was in vain.
Joseph Thomas is now a college freshman. Jermaine King is on his way to college, living proof that even crack can't kill strong dreams. Austin Longstadt, News Center 4.